to organize your amazing ideas into a powerful book? You are in the right place.
At the right time to learn how to write your book.
Hi, I'm Joyce Glass.
And I'm Sherry Lynn Bisbano, and welcome to the Right Hour Nonfiction Tips from the Right Coach team. We are so glad you joined us today.
Welcome to episode 1005 of The Right Hour. It's been so fun to go back through the archives and pull out some of the best podcasts so far. This one I love because it helps you create a book, a blog, and connect with your audience all at the same time. If you are writing a book, it's important that you connect with your audience while you write, and blogging is a good way to connect with them. I started off blogging, and it helped me to develop my writing skills and my writing voice. Today, you're going to learn the 5 steps to turn your blog into a book. In this episode, I mentioned our free email series. It's been updated, and now it's called Get the Book Out of Your Head series, so make sure you sign up if you haven't already. Sherilyn and I love to help writers learn the craft of writing, and we have joined forces with Keith Keller, who is a global marketing strategist, to create the TWC Writing Club. TWC, of course, stands for The Right Coach. Our membership includes a writing training every month to help you with your writing skills, a grammar training to help you with punctuation and grammar and sentence structure, and just learning some of those basics that you may have forgotten from long ago. But the other thing that has been so valuable that our members are loving so far is Marketing Monday with Keith. It's audience building training that we do live once a month. And then the next best part is the 2-hour group coaching call where we go live and you can come and ask your questions about the project you have going on. As well as there's a Facebook group where you can connect with other members and ask your questions when we're not doing our live sessions. The training started this week and the response has been fabulous. People are loving how we're presenting this and how it's helping them. And I want you to check it out. The TWC Writing Club, you can try it out for free for the first month, and then it's $29 a month as long as you stay a member. You can go to the link that's in the show notes, but it's WRITE coach.biz/club. And like I said, the link's in the show notes, or if you have any questions, feel free to email me at joyce@therightcoach.biz. We look forward to seeing you in the writing club, and I hope you learn a lot today about blogging your book. So today I've had a question from multiple people about what do you think about blogging my book? And I have 2 answers for you. Yes, you can, but I don't always recommend it. There's this myth thrown around you can throw some blog posts together and call them a book. However, I don't completely agree with this idea because a blog is usually written in short, direct format for a specific audience about a particular subject. Now, I have learned many great things from some blogs, but I would not want to read a series of disjointed thoughts in a book. So, please, please, please don't fall for this. I Googled a little research when I was planning for this podcast, and I found a website that will help you publish your blog into a book. And all they do is take your blog post and smush them together into a book format and put a pretty cover on it and say, here you go, sell it. Well, that's great for them, not so much for you. Blogging to me is a great way to learn the craft of writing, develop your voice, find your audience. Are you blogging? In case you're not, it's recommended most writers have a blog, website, newsletter of some sort. So if you are maybe new to the blogging world, check out the blog post blueprint. There will be a link in the show notes, and you can download that to help with setting up your post and just knowing how to organize a blog post. But back to the question, can I create a book from my blog post?
No, but yes. Yes, you can turn your blog into a book, but I suggest there are 5 steps on how you can turn your blog into a book. First, you want to approach it from a book mentality, not a blog mentality. So you have all this great raw information in your blog. You have created it, maybe you've researched it, and that's wonderful. Now I want you to take that information and put it into an outline or framework for your book. So first, put all that content that you want to use in the book, put it in a Word document, in Scrivener, Evernote, somewhere where you can see it all in one place and scroll through and look at it. Of course, everyone knows Scrivener is my favorite. And again, there's a link in the show notes if you are not familiar with Scrivener or you've heard of it and you want to learn more. I have an introductory video on how you can use Scrivener, all the great things you can do with it. So check out that link as well. But back to this creating an outline or framework. You may be thinking, what in the world are you talking about, outline or framework? Well, I like to call an outline the framework for your book. And I teach this in my email series, 4 Steps to the Right Book. Because you see, I'm not a fan of formal outlines. But if you answer these 4 questions, this will give your book some structure and focus. And the most important of the questions is, what is the outcome you want your reader to learn from your book? What do you want them to think, feel, or do after reading your book? And I want you to ask that question for each chapter as well. And these 4 steps work for each chapter. So you go through the steps for the entire book, and then you go through the steps 3 and 4, and you update it for each chapter, because 1 and 2 is going to stay the same. It's about your topic. Your topic and your specific topic are going to stay the same for the entire book. Then what you want to talk about for each chapter is going to change. So you can change that, and you could even change 2. Step 2 is specific topic, and you could change that because you may have a different topic. It's the overall theme, but you may have a different topic for each chapter. Again, what I love about this, you can adapt it to what works for you. But this gives you a guideline, a place to go. And as I've spoken many times, if you've heard me, whether it be on a webinar or on this podcast or any of my Facebook Lives, I talk about the framework of a book or an outline in relation to a framework of a house. A house has to have a framework. And you could have 10 houses that look identical, and they have the same kind of framework, but inside they look completely different. Maybe the layout's different. Maybe that somebody used hardwood flooring and somebody uses tile. Somebody painted bright colors and somebody uses more subtle tones. What I'm getting at is inside, each person created an environment that they wanted that reflected them. And so what this framework does is it gives you a path to follow and write your work and help it keep focused. But then you have the creativity to be able to write it however you want. Use humor, use stories. By adding the layers, you give it personality and make it more interesting and creative. So we're not creating a cookie cutter book that you insert A, B, and C, and bam, you have a book. But it gives you the foundation, a great foundation to start your book. And so the crux of the foundation is knowing what is the outcome you want for your reader to learn from this book. What do you want them to think, feel, or do after they read the entire book? And I want you to answer that question for each chapter. That question is essentially number 3. It's called an outcome sentence, is step 3. And then in step 4 is the how. How can they achieve what you want them to achieve in the book? So if you say, I want every person can achieve their goals by following these 10 steps. That's your outcome sentence for the book, is how to achieve their goals using the 10 steps you follow. Okay, great. Then in the number 4 is, well, then how? How can they achieve the goals they want? Well, they got to follow your 10 steps, right? So step 1 would be number 1. Step 2 would be number 2. Step 3 would be number 3. So say step 1 for achieving how they can achieve their goals is first they need to write it down. And that's what your first chapter is going to be about. So for the steps, it's just going to be a topic or a sentence that you're going to cover in the first chapter. And the same thing for 2, 3, 4, 5, down to 10. Or if you have 12 chapters, you're going to have 12 points. I hope this makes sense. Get the email series. I go into it a little more detail, and that link will be in the show notes as well. It's 4 steps to the Write book, WRITE. There'll be a big button that you can click that will take you to that. The next thing is sometimes your blog post is missing information from your book. So you have a couple things you can do. You can write blog posts about the missing information, which will help refine the book and make it complete. And you'll also be able to receive some feedback from your post from people reading it. Or use this information to entice your fans to download the book, because maybe they've read all your blog posts. Maybe they have, maybe they haven't. Or maybe they want to read them all in one sitting and not have to search through your blog to find all the blogs that coordinate. So step 1 is create an outline framework for your book. Step 2, this is in the 5 steps on how to turn your blog into a book, is your blog posts are missing information from your book. So write more blog posts or keep this information as special information for your readers only. The third thing, which is so important, is edit. If you didn't hear me say it again, edit. You want to first learn how to self-edit your book. Edit the book the best you possibly can. In episode 106, we talk about after the draft. Tell you the steps to self-edit before you take it to an editor. And the reason you want to do that, too, is nobody's first draft is ever perfect. Okay? So you want to go through and refine it. You don't want to just write it out and throw it out there to the world. Nobody does that. That's professional. You want to go through it yourself and refine it. Take things out, extra words out. Or are you saying the same thing over and over again for a couple paragraphs? Reduce it down. Make it concise and efficient. Nobody wants to read the same thing over and over again 3 different ways or 10 different ways, however you do it. Make it efficient, make it to the point, make it interesting. And that's where you go in and I'm going to talk about layers in the next point, but you want to have these extra layers in there to make it interesting. First, you just get your information out. And then you go back and edit and make it pretty and add things that make it interesting. Everyone needs an editor. No one, not a professional that you can think about, any person that you know as a writer, ever has a perfect manuscript the first time. You think of Jerry Jenkins and John Grisham and let's see, who's some other one? Oprah's written some books, right? All of these people have written, anybody that's written a book, they always have an editor. They always go back through it. That's just part of the writing process. So please make sure you don't skip this important step. It's very important that you edit. So that's step 3. So step 1 is your outline framework. Step 2 is blog post any missing information. Step 3 is edit. And step 4 is create raving fans for your book. You want to include some new content that will entice your readers to buy the book. This could be things like interviews with experts that support your topic with examples of people who work with you, or stories and illustrations that support your topic. This will give your book more depth and interest. So you want to make sure you add this information in there, as well as you want to give your readers something to be excited about. the upcoming book release. Make them a part of the process. Ask them questions that they would love for you to answer in the book. And whether you are traditionally publishing or self-publishing, having a loyal fan base is highly advantageous. So you definitely want to make sure you have a loyal fan base, whether they're on social media, your email. Email is key. Email is key. Most writers don't like doing it, but you need to grow your email list. And that's another blog for another day. Someone I highly recommend and love is Amy Porterfield. She does something called List Builders Lab that is great for growing your list. Another option is summits, and my friend Serena Carcassoli of the Amazing Women Network highly recommends summits for growing your list. And you can have a summit about anything, whatever topic your book's about, have a summit about that. And then you want to keep blogging consistently. Your next book could be in there. Plan your next book and blog to coordinate the outline of your next book. So this reduces the stress of you trying to fit blogs into a book if you blog your book strategically. So I'm the Write Coach, and my joy comes from inspiring you, educating and supporting you through the writing process. So I do this through my podcast, The Write Hour. I teach you how to answer your clients' and readers' needs, as well as add credibility to your platform or business by writing a book without giving it all away for free. You can turn your success, system, or story into a book.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of The Write Hour. Our goal is to help you achieve your writing dreams.
You are one step closer to write your book.
Learn how to get the book out of your head with the 4 steps we teach our clients. Sign up for the free email series at thewritecoach.biz. The link is in the show notes.
The 4 steps help you clarify your focus, create and organize your content, and complete your book. We share tips on the writing process, and you can download the writing planner to track your progress.
Don't let fear and overwhelm keep you from writing your book.
It's time to write your book.